everybody, it's Amanda from scrimpingmummy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be making a really special card for you. And we're going to use the Merry Christmas Thinlits dies. I love these because they're great big word dies. You cut them out, you put them on a card and you're good to go. They're awesome. And we're going to be using the ones that say Happy Holidays. And I have already cut them out. They are sat here in some champagne foil card. And what I've used for these, you can see where I've been practicing. I used the adhesive sheets. Now these are awesome. You're getting quite a lot in here as well. You get 12 in a pack. And what you do is you get the sheet and you attach it. You peel that off and you attach it to the piece of cardstock. So say if we were going to die cut out from this, we're not because it's part of my card, but pretend we were. You peel this off and then you stick your card to it and then you put your thinlits on there. You run it through your Big Shot and then the dies that come out, peel the back off and they are self-adhesive. So it saves you having to mess about with fiddly glue, getting it everywhere and making a right old mess. So I'm just going to bob those there. So here are all of the layers of the card that we're going to make today. Now there's quite a lot of layers. I'm going for a bit of a stepped up version. I normally do very simple cards. This one is simple but elegant. So all of the measurements of all of these layers will be over on my blog at scrimpingmummy.co.uk. I'm also going to give you the measurements now. So my card, and this is Sahara Sand, starts off at 11.5 inches by 4 1/8, scoring at the middle at 5 3/4 to make our card base. Then we have a foil sheet, and this is the champagne foil sheet, and this measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/2. Now those more savvy crafters amongst you will know that you could, if you wanted to, put your dies in the middle of there, cut that out, and you would still have enough because we're going to put our next card there, okay? Or some that are very, very frugal will cut the middle part out, okay? I'm a bit too lazy to do that, so I've just cut the full shape. I haven't cut my die cuts out of it because the reason being my plates are quite scratched and I didn't want the outer edge to get damaged. So, before somebody says, oh, you're wasting card. Yes, I am on this occasion. So that is the champagne foil. But I do want it to be special. You see, I'm sending it to somebody special. And then we're going to have a red. So we've got our card base. We've got our champagne foil. We've got a real red layer. And this measures 3 5/8 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to have a green strip, and this is from the All Is Bright DSP. It has stockings on one side and this lovely unassuming green pattern on the other. And that's going to go the full length of the card, so it's going to go protrude past the foil sheet and be the full length of the card. So that measures 5 3/4 by 2. Then we've got a red layer because we just want that green to be subtle. And that is, I'm not convinced that's the right size. Let me double check. It should be 5 3/4 by 1 1/2. Should it? 5 3/4 by 1 3. I want it a bit smaller. I'm going to put 1 1/2. I've put 1 3/4 on my measurements, but looking at it, I want it a little bit shorter. So 5 3/4 by 1 1/2. I want to be able to see that green either side. There you go, that's way better. Slight adjustments. And then I have an embossed piece, and this is also Sahara Sand, and this measures 3 1/4 by 5 inch, and that's going to go on there. Now we've embossed that with the beautiful tufted, I think it's called, and it's a textured impressions embossing folder. So it's a little bit thicker than normal embossing folders, so if you use it, you'll need to adjust your sandwich. Okay, just to warn you, don't try cranking it through thinking, what's wrong with this? It's thicker than normal embossing folders. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and construct my card. I haven't decided if I'm having it that way or that way yet. We'll see as we go. Right, so I am using wet glue, and I do suggest wet glue on the foil card because it's got kind of like a slipper. There's no other way I can explain it. The back of it's almost slippery, and so snail sometimes doesn't stick to it. And I don't find that tear tape's particularly brilliant. Use wet glue. And then you've also, because I want this to be a special card, I'm going to send it to one of my Scrimpies, hashtag Scrimpies card swap ladies. So I want it to be really nice. I'm trying to make a big effort and send a really nice card. So just be careful you don't get glue everywhere. So then we're having our red layer. And again, you need plenty of glue because you're on foil card, but you don't want it to splodge out and make a mess of your, your foil sheet. Okay. So we're layering that in. Trying to get it right, more or less right the first time, so we're not smooshing that glue about. And I'm using my sleeve of my jumper. It's a very technical process. Just because I can't always guarantee that my hands are terribly clean. They're always full of ink. Right, so that is that layer. And then we're going for the green, which is going to protrude all the way to the bottom of the card. Now, it may need a trim at the bottom. Sometimes when you cut card and then cut DSP to the same length, for some reason, or it might just be me, but for some reason, sometimes there is a slight difference. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my grid mat like so, because I do want to get this straight. And I'm not going for the middle and I'm not going straight for the top. I'm going just slightly lower, but not quite in the middle. Okay, and I want to get this as straight as possible. So I am using my grid mat to help me. And then I'm coming in with my special tool for rubbing. Oh, come on, we all do it, don't we? I should have like a little cloth or some kitchen roll, but I'm just a hands-on crafter, and if I get a bit of glue on my clothes, I get a bit of glue on my clothes, it doesn't matter. And then I'm having my real red strip. It looks a little bit like a certain designer brand, doesn't it, with the brown and green and red. Okay, so that's laid on there. Make sure it's straight-ish, and that's that bit. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry a minute. So for my embossed layer, we've got quite a big sandwich going on here. Is that straight? I'm not convinced that's 100% straight, but never mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some foam strips. You know, these are just for making shaker cards with, because I want lots and lots of foam on there. But if I use my dimensionals, I'll be using half a pack. So I'm going to use foam strip. So I'm going to pull one off, and I'm going to run it along the top edge of my card like so. And then I'm going to cut it. I don't want to cut it with my paper snips because I don't want sticky icky on them. I'm using an old pair of scissors. Okay. So then I want some in the middle. I'll have that one in the middle that I've just trimmed off. In the middle. Blimey, how hard is it to get something central? And then you can use the outer edge of these as well, so I'm going to be snipping that and I'm going to use it. Let me just measure how much I need. About there. Okay, snip it off. Okay, so that will give all of that dimension without the need for 150 dimensionals. Okay, press it, and then remove the backing. Now I'm going to take some time to line this up before I commit and press. So let me turn it that way towards me. Okay, right. Deep breaths. We want it straight. Okay, let me just move it down ever so slightly. I am doing it completely by eye. I've not got any measuring marks or anything like that. I think we've just about made it. And that's a lovely dimensional card now. That looks absolutely amazing. Love it. So now I'm bringing in my dies. So I've cut the words Happy Holidays. Now on my sample I did stick the words on the wrong way around and I put Holidays Happy and I was like, no. But if you just pop them on your card and then don't add a lot of pressure immediately, and then check, because you can gently lift it off with your pokey tool, which is what I managed to do on my sample. But once it's down and you've pressed it, then it's down. So just bear it in mind. Okay. Just removing these little bits that don't come out when you are die cutting. There we go, just in between, you know, in like the holes of the words. Get that out. Okay, so that is the word happy. So it's Happy Holidays, Amanda, not Holidays Happy. Oh, I couldn't believe it when I got it the wrong way around. As I say, I managed to get it off and move it, but don't make that mistake. So check what you're doing. Okay. Gently removing these. Very gently. I did run it through the big shot like forwards and then I kind of like reversed and went backwards just to make sure. Now you can see tiny little bubbles, which are the little holes in the back of the die. It doesn't bother me. If that look on your card and being able to see that bothers you, put some copy paper between your die and your cardstock, whatever you're using, and it might alleviate it. Or reduce the sandwich in your big shot, mess about with it. I don't have time for all that, and I don't mind. I think it just adds to the look. I quite like it. Okay. A little bit fiddly, but you know, it's worth taking the time over. It's only extra fiddly because I'm taking extra care. Normally I'd just pull it out and I wouldn't be bothered. Right, so I'm just going to plan where it's going to go. So that's going there. And that's going there. Okay, so I'll peel the back off my happy first. Okay, and again, just have a bit of patience and just do it gently. You don't want to rip one of your letters. That would be a disaster because then you've got to start all over again. Okay, right, here we go. Here we go. I've got it the right way around. It's all spelt right. And I'm going to just have it, no, I want that L to be inside, the top part of that H to be inside. Oh, there we go. Right, I'm happy with where that is now. It might not be completely central, but I'm not going to stress myself that far. Right, so remove the backing off of Holidays. Don't put it on upside down. And I think that is more or less where I would like it. About there. Now I will just show you my sample as an alternative, and I put it that way, and I made a little sprig from using the sprig punch, and I did tie a bow. Now having it this way, I'm not sure if that's all going to fit, but I'm going to have a go. So first of all, I will punch a couple of sprigs with my sprig punch, which I absolutely love. I've used it and used it and used it, and I will continue to use it well after the festive period for just greenery on things. I'm going to trim it, and I'm just going to trim that one down short, and I'm going to glue it to the centre of the, oh, I don't want that much glue. I'm going to find a piece of scrap paper. I only want a little bit of glue, you don't need a lot. Okay, and I'm going to attach that in the centre, so it's like a 3 tiers, but 4 would be too much. Okay, so I'm going to put it there, but I want a little bow. I am going to do the bow. I'm going to do it live. I might regret this. So I'm doing the bunny ears version. So you get 2 bunny ears and you tie them together. Okay. That's the least stressful way of doing it, live on camera, as it were. And pull. Okay. Then spend an hour adjusting it to the size that you want. And just keep pulling it backwards and forwards. Hopefully I can get it and I don't have to stop the video because it's taken me an hour to adjust my bow. Pull it tight, come on. Let's have a look. The thing is, you see, I don't want that bow to be too large because I don't want it taking over on my card. Okay. Alright, that's fine. We'll leave it there. So I pull them tails down, trim them short, and then I'm going to cut them quite short up to the bow, just at an angle like that. And the same with this one. Just cut it at an angle. Scissors need sharpening there. Not cutting the ribbon terribly nicely. Okay, let's have a look. Which ways looks better? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I think that way is just ever so slightly a better side. Yep. Let me just trim that a little bit more. Sorry about that. This is why I don't do bows, because I end up faffing. Right, I'm leaving it. I'm not faffing any longer. So I'm going to add some glue on there, and if my bow looks a little bit rubbish, then so be it. Add that on there like so. Okay. Right, so I'm going to attach that with glue dots, and I always double up when I'm doing bows. Always. And I'm going to put my glue dots on the project rather than direct to the ribbon, because I just find it's easier. Ugh, get on. There we go. My sprig's coming off now. It's not dried. Leave your sprig to dry in between. She'll end up in a sticky mess. I'm going to add my little bow there. Okay. And here's a little tip. If it doesn't lie flat where you want it, like that tail I'm not 100% happy with, then go back in when you've done and stick it down with another glue dot. I will lightly stick it. In fact, I'm going to do it now. Get a glue dot. Lift that up. Put the glue dot there. And then I will stick that tail to it. There we go. Okay. Right, and then we shift all of that garbage out of the way. We're getting our basic pearls and we're going to add them to the sprig, which has been very naughty now. There we go. And it really does look luxurious when you do this. It's lovely. So not only can you put, you know, the red berries on, you can put pearls on to look like white winter berries. Another one down here. No expense spared on this card. So there you go. So there's my original sample and there's that one. Both of them are lovely. All of the details and close-up pictures will be over on my blog at scrimpymummy.co.uk. I hope you'll give that a try. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.